Kita stared at his screen for a long time. The data in front of him made his heart beat faster. After 15 years as a senior intelligence officer for the Galactic Council, he had never seen anything like this before. "Computer, run the analysis again," he said, his voice steady despite his worry. The computer beeped and showed the same results. The primitive planet called Earth was advancing too fast. Kita got up from his desk and walked to the large window of his office. The 3 moons of the Council's homeworld shone brightly in the night sky. He had to report this to Commander Hansol right away. The walk to the commander's office was short, but Kita's mind raced with thoughts. Just 50 Earth years ago, humans were using simple flying machines. Now they had computers, space stations, and were planning missions to their red neighbor planet. Commander Hansol was reading reports when Kita entered. The commander didn't look up. "What is so important that you need to see me this late, Officer Kita?" "Sir, it's about Earth," Kita said, placing his data pad on the commander's desk. "They're advancing too quickly. Look at these numbers." Hansol picked up the pad and frowned. "Impossible. No species can develop this fast." "But they are, sir," Kita said. "In the last 100 years, they've gone from horse-drawn vehicles to space exploration. Their technology growth is 5 times faster than any other species we found." Hansol laughed and handed the pad back. "They're still primitive. They haven't even left their own solar system." "That's not the point, sir," Kita tried again. "Look at their pattern of development. Their adaptability is extraordinary. When they face problems, they don't just solve them, they improve on the solutions." The commander stood up and walked to a wall covered in star maps. "Kita, you're a good officer, but you worry too much. Earth is just another level 3 civilization. They're no threat to us." "But sir, their military development is nothing compared to ours." Hansol cut him off. "We have ships that can cross galaxies. They have ships that can barely reach their moon." Kita knew that tone. The commander had made up his mind. But he had to try one more time. "Sir, please, at least let me send a full observation team. There's something different about these humans." Hansol turned back to his desk. "Fine. Send one observer, but don't waste too many resources on this. We have more important worlds to watch." Kita left the office feeling uneasy. He had served the council long enough to trust his instincts, and his instincts were screaming that they were making a big mistake. Back in his office, Kita looked at Earth's image on his screen. It was a beautiful planet, mostly blue with swirls of white clouds. Its people had no idea they were being watched. They were too busy arguing among themselves, building new things, and reaching for the stars. That was what worried him most. Other species took thousands of years to reach space. Humans had done it in decades. Other species developed technology in careful steps. Humans jumped forward in great leaps. Kita started writing his report. He would send their best observer, even if the commander thought it was a waste of time. Because if he was right about humans, the council needed to be very careful about first contact. As he worked, a message flashed on his screen. Earth's scientists had just made another breakthrough in quantum computing. Kita sighed and added it to his report. The humans had done it again, solving a problem that had stumped other species for centuries. He looked out at the moons one more time. "Computer, add a note to the report," he said quietly. "These humans are different, and I fear we are not ready for how different they truly are." The computer beeped in response, recording his words. Kita didn't know it then, but this was the beginning. The Galactic Council was about to learn a very important lesson about underestimating humanity, and the cost of that lesson would be higher than anyone could imagine. Military observer Du Hyun landed his cloaked ship in a remote forest area of the planet called North America. This was his 100th first contact observation mission, and he expected it to be like all the others. He was wrong. The morning sun filtered through Earth's trees as Du Hyun activated his scanning equipment. His first task was to assess human military capabilities. He had read Kita's reports about the humans' fast development, but he didn't share the intelligence officer's concerns. Such primitive weapons, Do-hyun muttered as his scanners showed him Earth's military bases. They still used projectile weapons and chemical explosives. Their aircraft couldn't even leave the atmosphere properly. Their ships stayed on the surface of their oceans. He wrote his first report quickly. Humans remain at level 3 military capability. Their weapons pose no threat to Council forces. Recommendation: standard containment protocols will be sufficient. But then something caught his attention. His scanners picked up unusual activity at a facility marked as Research and Development. Do-hyun moved his ship closer, staying hidden under the cloaking field. Inside the facility, humans were working on something new. Do-hyun zoomed in with his sensors. They were combining different technologies in ways he had never seen before. They took simple ideas and made them work in surprising ways. Interesting, he said, but still primitive. He watched for 3 more days. Each day, the humans made changes to their designs. They didn't follow the normal steps of weapon development that other species used. Instead, they tried new things, failed, learned, and tried again. Do-hyun added to his report. Note: humans show unusual adaptability in weapon design. However, their technology level remains far below Council standards. On the 4th day, Do-hyun made the first big mistake of High Command. He decided not to mention something important in his report. He had seen humans working on a new kind of defense system. It used Earth's simple technology, but in a way that might actually work against advanced weapons. It probably won't work anyway, he thought. No need to worry High Command about it. He sent his final report. Earth is a low-threat world. Military capability: minimal. Recommendation: classify as level 3 civilization, suitable for standard first contact protocols. Back at Council headquarters, Kita read Do-hyun's report with growing worry. The report was too simple. It missed important details, but High Command had already made their decision based on it. We've reviewed the military assessment, Commander Han-sol told Kita. Earth is classified as a low-threat world. Case closed. Kita tried one last time. Sir, I've been watching their information networks. They're sharing ideas and technologies faster than any species we've seen. They're preparing defenses against threats they haven't even met yet. Han-sol waved his hand dismissively. Paranoid primitives playing with toys. Do-hyun's report is clear. They're no threat to us. That night, Kita stayed late in his office, watching Earth's networks. He saw humans discussing possible alien invasions. They were making plans. They were getting ready. Computer, Kita said, mark today in the records. High Command made their first mistake about Earth. They chose to see what they expected to see, not what was really there. The computer recorded his words. On Earth, in the facility Do-hyun had watched, humans continued their work. They didn't know they were being watched. They didn't know about the Council. They just kept doing what humans always did, preparing for the worst while hoping for the best. And in doing so, they were about to teach the Galactic Council a lesson about underestimating a species that had gone from horse carts to space stations in just 100 years. Intelligence Officer Jae-won sat at her desk, staring at her screen with growing concern. Her monitoring systems were showing something unusual. Humans had started encrypting more of their communications. They were being careful, watchful. Kita, you need to see this, she called to her superior officer. Kita walked over to her station, his face serious. Ji-won pointed to her screen. They're looking for us. Kita leaned closer to look at the data. Earth's scientists were using new types of scanners. They were searching the skies more carefully than before. Some had even detected tiny traces of Do-hyun's ship, despite its cloaking technology. How long has this been happening? Kita asked. 3 weeks, Jae-won replied. At first, I thought it was just routine space observation. But look at these patterns. They're searching specifically for cloaked objects. Kaita straightened up. We need to tell Admiral Sangmei right away. The Admiral's office was large and full of screens showing different parts of the galaxy. Admiral Sangmei was a decorated officer who had handled many first contact situations. She listened to their report with a calm face. So the primitives are looking at the sky, she said when they finished. That's what primitives do. They're always afraid of things they don't understand. Jaiwan spoke up. Admiral, with respect, it's more than that. They've developed new scanning technology in just weeks. They're adapting faster than any species we've seen. The Admiral turned to look at a large map of Earth's solar system. Officer Jaiwan, do you know how many first contact missions I've overseen? 37. Admiral. 37. And in every single one, the primitive species showed signs of detecting us. They always look for advanced life. It's natural. The Admiral turned back to them. But they never find us. Our technology is too advanced. Keita tried next. Admiral, the humans are different. They've already found ways to detect our cloaking technology. They're preparing defenses. We should. Enough. Admiral Sangmei cut him off. High Command has classified Earth as a low-threat world. That decision is final. Your job is to observe, not to worry about impossible threats. After they left the Admiral's office, Jaiwan looked at Keita. They're not going to listen, are they? Keita shook his head. No, they see what they expect to see. A primitive world that poses no threat. Back at her desk, Jaiwan continued monitoring Earth's communications. She watched as humans shared their findings with each other across their global network. They weren't just looking for alien ships now. They were building new defenses, improving their technology, preparing for something they couldn't even be sure was real. One conversation caught her attention. A human scientist was saying, if they're out there watching us, they probably think we're primitive. That might be our biggest advantage. Jaiwan called Keita over again. Together, they watched as humans across the planet worked together, sharing ideas, building new things, preparing for the unknown. They weren't acting like a primitive species. They were acting like a species that had learned to expect the unexpected. Computer, record this observation, Keita said. High Command continues to underestimate the humans. They see a primitive species, but I see something else. I see a species that has learned to turn their fears into preparation, their doubts into innovation. The computer recorded his words as J1 continued monitoring. On her screen, another human message appeared. If anyone's watching us, they should remember one thing. Humans don't like being underestimated. Neither J1 nor Keita knew it yet, but those words would prove to be more important than anyone in the Galactic Council could imagine. Captain Yijun stood on the bridge of his ship, looking at the blue planet through the main screen. High Command had given him a simple mission: show the humans how powerful the Galactic Council was. He had brought 5 ships, each one capable of destroying a small moon. This will be quick, he told his crew. We show our ships, they realize how primitive they are, and they accept our authority. Standard procedure. The 5 ships moved into position above Earth's largest cities. Their cloaking shields were turned off. High Command wanted the humans to see them. They wanted Earth to understand its place in the galaxy. But something was wrong. The humans weren't panicking like other primitive species usually did. Captain, his sensor officer called out, the humans are transmitting something. Before Yijun could respond, his ship's screens flickered. Earth's networks were sending millions of signals at once. They were probing his ship's defenses, testing for weaknesses. Impossible, Yijun said. They shouldn't be able to reach our systems. But they had. Somehow, the humans had prepared for this. They were using simple technology in clever ways. They sent basic computer code that changed and adapted as it hit the ship's defenses. Shut down all external systems, Yijun ordered, but it was too late. The humans had found a way in. They hadn't broken through the main defenses, but they had affected the ship's communication systems. Yi Jun couldn't contact the other ships in his fleet. On Earth, millions of computers worked together. The humans had planned for this. They had built simple but effective defenses. They had prepared ways to fight back. "Captain, we're losing control of secondary systems," an officer reported. "Their attacks are changing faster than our defenses can adapt." Yi Jun watched in shock as human satellites moved into new positions around his ships. They weren't powerful enough to hurt his fleet, but they were gathering information, learning, adapting. "This is the second mistake." Kite's voice came through a secure channel from Council headquarters. "You thought they would behave like other primitive species, but humans don't follow the usual patterns." "Send more ships," Yi Jun demanded. "We can still show them our power." "No," Kite replied. "Look at your sensors. Really look." Yi Jun checked the readings again. The humans were coordinating their efforts globally. They weren't fighting among themselves like primitive species usually did. They had united against what they saw as a common threat. "Retreat," Kite ordered, "before High Command's second mistake becomes even worse." Yi Jun wanted to argue, but his ship's systems were still under attack. The humans weren't trying to destroy his fleet. They were learning from it. Every minute his ship stayed in Earth's orbit gave humans more chances to understand Council technology. As the 5 ships disappeared into space, Earth's networks were filled with excitement. Humans had faced their first alien contact, and they had done better than anyone expected. They hadn't won a battle, but they had learned from one. In his office, Kita wrote another report. "High Command's second mistake is now complete." They thought humans would react with fear and submission. Instead, humanity showed us something new, a primitive species that refuses to be primitive when faced with advanced technology. The computer recorded his words as usual. On Earth, humans were already studying the data they had gathered. They were learning, improving, preparing, and High Command still didn't understand what they were dealing with. Lieutenant Ta, he could not believe what she was seeing. Her monitoring station at Galactic Council headquarters was showing impossible data from Earth. The humans had not only learned from their encounter with Captain Yi Jun's ships, but they had also started making technological leaps that should have taken centuries. She prepared her report for Strategic Director Min Ki with careful attention to detail. The humans had taken the small amount of data they gathered from the Council's ships and used it to improve their own technology at an unprecedented rate. "Director Min Ki," she said, standing in his office, "the humans have developed new defense systems in just 2 weeks. They are using principles they learned from our ships." Min Ki looked up from his desk with a cold expression. "Lieutenant, you are young. You don't understand how primitive species develop. What you're seeing is impossible." "Sir, please look at the data," Tahi said, placing her tablet on his desk. "They have already replicated parts of our communication systems. They are building new satellites with improved scanning abilities." Min Ki glanced at the tablet briefly. "Their copies must be crude and ineffective." "No, sir," Tahi insisted. "They aren't just copying. They are improving. They take our basic principles and find new ways to use them. Ways we never considered." She showed him more data. Humans had created new computer systems that could adapt to attacks in real time. They had developed shields that could detect cloaked ships. They had even started experimenting with new forms of energy that resembled Council technology. "Impossible," Min Ki said again, but his voice was less certain now. "Sir, there's more," Tahi continued. "They are sharing all their discoveries globally. Every advancement made in one country is quickly tested and improved by others. They work together in ways we've never seen before." She pulled up images of human scientists collaborating across their global network. They weren't fighting over the new technology. They weren't keeping secrets from each other. They were building on each other's work, making improvements hour by hour. "Their rate of advancement is beyond anything in our records," Tahi explained. "What takes other species decades, they do in weeks. What should be impossible, they treat as a challenge." Min-Ki finally showed concern. How are they doing this? They think differently, Tahi said. When they face a problem, they don't just look for one solution. They try hundreds of approaches at once. When something fails, they learn from it and try new ways. She showed him more data. Humans had already started building improved versions of the technology they had glimpsed during the fleet's brief appearance. They weren't just preparing for another visit. They were getting ready to reach out into space themselves. If we don't change how we deal with them, Tahi warned, they will soon match our technology. And they might use it in ways we never imagined. Min-Ki dismissed her concerns, but Tahi noticed him sending an urgent message to High Command after she left. She returned to her monitoring station and watched as humans continued their rapid progress. "Computer, record observation," she said quietly. "Humans have shown again that they are different. They don't behave like a primitive species should. They act like a species that has spent their entire history preparing for moments like this." The computer recorded her words as Earth scientists made another breakthrough. On her screen, Tahi watched as humans took another step closer to matching the Council's technology. And still, High Command refused to see the truth about this remarkable species. Supreme Commander Hyunwoo stood before the Galactic Council's War Room display, his face lit by the glow of 100 screens. The time had come to show these humans their proper place in the galaxy. He had assembled the largest fleet in Council history, 500 ships that could destroy planets. The humans have had enough time to play with technology they don't understand, Hyunwoo announced to the gathered officers. Today we will remind them that they are still primitive. Kaita, who had been invited to the war room as an observer, stepped forward. "Supreme Commander, I must advise against this action." The humans have. "Silence," Hyunwoo ordered. "I have seen your reports. Humans copying our technology like children playing with toys. They cannot hope to match our power." The massive fleet moved toward Earth, their engines lighting up space. Hyunwoo watched with pride as they approached the blue planet. This would be a quick operation. The humans would surrender as soon as they saw the true might of the Council. But Earth was waiting for them. The first sign of trouble came when 30 Council ships suddenly lost power. They had flown into an invisible net of human-made energy fields that somehow interfered with Council technology. "Impossible," Hyunwoo whispered. More ships reported problems. The humans were using modified versions of Council technology, changed in ways no one had thought possible. They had taken the basic principles they learned from their first contact and turned them into weapons. "Sir," a communications officer called out, "the humans are broadcasting a message." A human voice filled the war room. "To the Galactic Council fleet, we gave you a chance to talk. You chose to threaten. This is our response." Suddenly, thousands of small human ships appeared from behind Earth's moon. They were ugly, primitive-looking things made of simple materials, but they moved in ways that Council ships couldn't predict. They used simple technology in complex ways. "Full attack," Hyunwoo ordered, but his fleet was in chaos. The humans had studied Council ships during their brief first contact. They had learned that advanced technology could be defeated by simple solutions used cleverly. Their small ships carried devices that disrupted Council shields. Their weapons were basic but used in ways that confused Council defense systems. "Sir, we're losing ships," an officer reported. "The humans, they're not trying to destroy us. They're disabling our technology." Kaita stepped forward again. "This is your third mistake. You thought humans would fight like a primitive species, but they fight with everything they have, using every trick they can think of. And they learn from every battle." Hyunwoo watched in horror as his mighty fleet fell into confusion. The humans attacked from all directions, using strategies no advanced species would consider. They turned Council technology against itself. They found weaknesses no one knew existed. "Retreat," Hyunwoo finally ordered. "Full retreat." As the Council fleet fled from Earth, Kita wrote his final report. Today, High Command made its third and final mistake. They thought superior technology meant certain victory. They forgot that humans have spent their entire history fighting against superior forces. They didn't understand that humans don't accept defeat just because their enemy is stronger. The humans had won their first space battle. But more importantly, they had shown the galaxy something new. A species that could take advanced technology and make it better through simple, unexpected solutions. Security Chief Su Bin watched the battle recordings for the 100th time in her secure command center. The human counterattack had changed everything. Now she had to understand exactly how a primitive species had defeated the Council's most powerful fleet. "Play Sector 4 again," she ordered. The screen showed human ships using Council technology in ways no one had imagined possible. They had taken advanced systems and made them simpler, more effective, and incredibly unpredictable. Her analysis team had spent days studying the battle. The humans hadn't just copied Council technology. They had improved it. Where Council ships used complex systems, humans found ways to achieve the same results with simpler methods. They turned their primitive understanding into an advantage. Chief Su Bin, one of her analysts, called out, "You need to see this new data from Earth." The screens filled with images of human factories and laboratories. They were building new ships and weapons at an incredible speed. But these weren't copies of Council designs. The humans had created hybrid technology that combined their own innovations with reversed engineered alien systems. "They're not trying to catch up to us," Su Bin realized. "They're creating something entirely new." Reports came in from across Earth. Humans had taken the energy systems from damaged Council ships and found ways to make them work with their own power grids. They had studied Council communication devices and developed new ways to transmit data. Every piece of advanced technology they captured became the foundation for something unexpected. Su Bin prepared her report for what remained of High Command. "The humans have achieved in weeks what takes other species centuries," she wrote. "They don't follow normal patterns of technological development. Instead, they take advanced concepts and find simple, effective ways to use them." The screen showed more human innovations. They had already started building a defense network around their planet using modified Council technology, but they had improved the designs, making them more efficient and harder to defeat. "Their greatest strength," Su Bin continued writing, "is not their ability to copy our technology. It is their ability to understand it, simplify it, and make it work in ways we never considered." A new alert caught her attention. The humans had just launched their first ship using hybrid technology. It wasn't as advanced as Council ships, but it moved in ways that Council sensors couldn't predict. It used simple systems to achieve complex results. "We didn't just lose a battle," Su Bin concluded in her report. "We gave them the tools they needed to join us in space, and they are using those tools better than we ever did." She watched as more human ships took flight. They were ugly by Council standards, built with a mix of primitive and advanced technology. But they worked. They worked better than anyone had thought possible. "Computer, final observation," Su Bin said quietly. "We didn't just underestimate their ability to fight. We underestimated their ability to learn, to improve, to innovate. The humans took our greatest advantage, our advanced technology, and turned it into their greatest opportunity." The computer recorded her words as Earth's first fleet of hybrid ships began their training exercises. The humans weren't celebrating their victory. They were preparing for what came next. They knew this was just the beginning. Kita stood before the full Galactic Council Assembly. The Grand Chamber was silent as he prepared to deliver his final report on the Earth situation. The defeat of their fleet had shaken the Council's confidence, and now they wanted answers. "Honored Council members," Kita began, his voice clear and steady. "I am here to explain how a Level 3 civilization defeated our most powerful fleet. The answer is simple. We made 3 critical mistakes in understanding humans." He activated the chamber's display system, showing images from Earth. "Our first mistake was believing that technological advancement must follow a fixed pattern. Humans showed us that innovation can take unexpected paths. The council members watched as images showed human cities, laboratories, and their new hybrid ships. These ships combined council technology with human innovation in ways that even now surprise the council's best engineers. Our second mistake, Kita continued, was assuming that humans would react to superior technology with fear and submission. Instead, they saw our technology as a challenge to overcome, a puzzle to solve. He showed recordings of the brief space battle. The human ships looked primitive compared to council vessels, but they had fought with remarkable effectiveness. They had used simple solutions to defeat complex systems. But our third and most serious mistake was thinking that humans would fight like a primitive species. Kita paused to let this sink in. They did not. They fought like humans, adaptable, innovative, and unafraid to try new approaches. The chamber remained silent as Kita showed more data. Humans had not stopped advancing after their victory. They continued to improve their technology, finding new ways to use what they had learned. They were already exploring beyond their solar system. We must understand something important about humans, Kita explained. They do not accept limitations. When faced with advanced technology, they don't just copy it, they improve it. When faced with superior forces, they don't surrender. They find new ways to fight. He showed final images of Earth's new defense network. It was a perfect example of human innovation. Simple but effective, using council technology in ways its creators had never imagined. The humans are now reaching for the stars, Kita said, but they are doing it their way. They have learned from our technology, but they are not copying it. They are creating something new, something we never expected. Keita looked at each council member before delivering his conclusion. We came to Earth thinking we would find another primitive species to guide. Instead, we found a species that will soon join us as equals in space, and they will bring with them new ideas, new ways of thinking, and new approaches to problems we thought were already solved. The council chamber remained quiet as Kita finished his report. The humans had changed everything. They had shown that advanced technology alone did not guarantee victory. They had proven that a species' true strength lay not in its current level of development, but in its ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. Let this be recorded as the final report on Earth, Kita said. We made 3 mistakes in dealing with humans, but perhaps these mistakes were necessary. They taught us that we still have much to learn about the species who share our galaxy with us. As Kita left the chamber, he knew that the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity was coming to the stars, bringing with them their unique way of looking at the universe, and perhaps that was exactly what the galaxy needed.